Since the start of the pandemic in 2020 and the end of the lockdowns, we have really seen a disturbing rise in gun violence across the country. And it really seems to have affected cities big and small all over the country. For many years, we had been seeing a decline in gun violence, although it remains a terrible problem in this country. But the last couple of years, it has been a really significant rise in 2020 and then again in 2021. In the Midwest, Chicago, Milwaukee, Baltimore, St. Louis, those cities have seen some pretty dramatic increases. By virtually every measure, the United States has gun violence that is just wildly disproportionate to other countries. There's this perception, which is accurate, that there are a whole heck of a lot of guns in the United States. And statistically speaking, we know that the more guns there are in a society, the more shootings occur. The really important thing to keep in perspective is that even though the numbers are up, and it's terrible to see this, the rates of gun violence, of gun death, are not as high as they were in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Gun violence had been moderated for the past 10, 20 years. And this is a real shock to see these numbers climbing as rapidly as they have been in the past couple of years. The activists I've talked to say that a lot of the contribution has come from social media. When you had people locked in their houses, all they were doing was posting online. That had very real consequences because people would pick fights with each other. And then once the lockdowns were being lifted, people started meeting up to settle those scores. Driving that even further was you had more guns on the street because people had used their stimulus checks to buy guns in a way that they had not been able to do so before. And then you had the increase in the sort of large capacity magazines and a number of different devices on those guns that allowed people to shoot more quickly. So instead of a drive-by shooting in which 1 or 2 people were hurt, you had a drive-by shooting in which 5 people or 10 people were hurt. At the federal level, President Biden just pushed forward new regulations aimed at cracking down on what they call these ghost guns. And those are guns that are assembled at home from parts you buy over the internet or you modify yourself. And those are guns that can't be traced, can't be tracked. That's why they're called ghost guns. But at the local level, a lot of the activists I've talked to said we really need to be approaching this in a holistic or systemic way, asking the question, why do people feel like settling scores with guns is the right approach? And finding ways to get people support, get them jobs, make them feel like valued members of our society.
It is. They say it came as a complete surprise. Those dogs had been in the home for months before the attack. It happened at the home here behind me, and one of the residents inside says she fought the dogs off to protect her daughter, and that 1-year-old little girl still in the hospital this morning. Take a look at the video from the scene overnight. As you can see, animal control officers removing the 2 pit bulls from the home. It was about 10:15 last night on Homebrook Avenue. LA County fire officials say several people were injured in this pit bull attack. Family members tell me it all happened in just a few minutes, with the 2 pit bulls biting 4 people total, including a 1-year-old girl, and who was rushed to the hospital, a trauma center at County USC. Her mother, who returned home with several stitches on her upper lip, describes how she fought one of those dogs off.
I stabbed him to get him off my daughter. And it was either him or my daughter, and I chose my daughter, so I did whatever I had to do to protect my daughter because he wouldn't let go of my daughter. So I had to. And I feel really bad, but I had to. I had to do what I had to do. I'm pretty sure anybody would have done it.
Now, all 4 family members needed stitches after that attack. The family tells me 1-year-old Ruby Ann Cervantes is undergoing surgery right now, and then she'll be moved to the ICU. They say she was bit on the shoulder, legs, and ankle. Meanwhile, those 2 blue-nosed pit bulls, they say around 3 to 4 years old, had been in the home for around 4 months and had never displayed any aggressive behavior. One was killed, stabbed to death inside the home, the other in animal control custody. And that mother, in tears, tells me she is just glad that her daughter, her 1-year-old girl, is expected to survive the attack. Reporting live in Pico Rivera this morning. Back to you.
Wow, that is so scary.
It is scary. It's sad. All right, Mario.
Thanks, Mario.
Send an ambulance, please.
It's a moment of crisis.
What prompted such a desperate call to 911? It was a vicious physical attack, not from a human being, but from a bird called a cassowary, just like the one behind me. It's known as the most dangerous bird in the world. The cassowary is a close descendant of the fierce velociraptors, the dinosaurs featured in Jurassic World. Stand down. Who would keep such a creature as a pet? This man did, 75-year-old Marvin Hajos of suburban Gainesville, Florida. His urgent call to 911 came after he was attacked by his pet cassowary. In a fight between cassowary and man, he didn't stand a chance. Somehow, Hajos was able to call a friend, who then placed his own call to 911, urging police to get there quickly.
He sounded really frantic on the phone. All he said was, send an ambulance, send an ambulance, send an ambulance.
Zookeeper Debbie Morganson uses a rake, especially during breeding season, when the birds are protecting their eggs.
The main thing you worry about is their feet. It's their most deadly weapon.
She's correct. Cassowaries don't bite. They use their claws, which can grow 4 inches long. This guy uses a thick shield to protect himself during an attack.
It's more like running at you and kicking you and jumping at you with those feet, and like a velociraptor, they're gonna shred you pretty quick.
Wildlife expert Jared Miller says the dead man might have made a mistake.
It's a situation where a little slip up like a trip and fall definitely gave that large bird an advantage.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakudash. Giving double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to all the brothers out here laboring this truth with sincerity. And today, just want to get into a lesson going into the 4 kinds that will destroy. Going into the ways that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai would destroy Babylon the Great. And not only Babylon the Great, all around the world, you know. And we'll get into the book of Job, chapter 18 and verse 14. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. The king of terrors. And that's speaking of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So we'll go into that word terror, just, you know, to get a better understanding.
Strong's H 1091. Balaha. Balaha.
Balaha. And it says alarm, hence destruction, terror, terrible. And we got that word destruction, man. You know, that's what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to send to Babylon the Great, you know. And we know this, you know, the majority of this is going to take place during Jacob's trouble, man. And if we're not already in Jacob's trouble, you know, we are knocking at the door, you know. All the signs are pointing there, you know, with the pestilence, famine, all these things are about to take place. And we'll go to the book of Zechariah, you know, all too familiar verse. It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is my power. And going up to verse 8, you know, they're speaking of the 2/3. These are the people that's going to fall victim to the destruction that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to bring. And when you speak of the third, they're speaking of the elect and the remnant. You know, these are the people that's going to survive everything that the Lord is going to bring to this place. So, you know, it's written, man. So, you know, hey, the Lord is not a man that he should lie. You know, his word doesn't go out void, man. So, hey, it's going to happen, you know. But the verse in particular that explains, you know, how Yahweh Shem Yahushua, what he has planned for this place, you know. All right, it's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, as we see the title, judgment must come. Judgment must come, you know, and it's coming. It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 15, starting at verse 1. Then the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, Salaki, then said the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt say, tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are the captivity to the captivity. So the Lord put it pretty much, you know, just casting these people away, giving them up. And he's going to tell you, you know, the types of judgment that he's going to bring. Verse 3, and I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So the Lord is, you know, the sword is given to Esau, you know, which is, you know, the modern day weaponry. And, you know, you got people nowadays getting shot left and right, stabbed left and right, you know, just taking out all kind of ways, you know. And Yahweh Shem Yahushua is just giving them up to the sword. And he also says the dogs to tear. You know, as you can see, hey, the animal, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua will put the spirit on these animals to attack, man, and destroy. You know, there's been all kind of dog attacks going on. You know, animals attacking. It says, and the fowls of the heaven, you know, and we seen how that bird, you know, pretty much almost killed that guy. So, hey man, Yahweh Shem Yahushua can put the spirit on however he see fit, you know, to destroy somebody. And it's gonna be a time, man, you know, where all these things are just gonna be unleashed all at once, you know, on a mass scale. You know, it's gonna be a whole lot of death and destruction going on, man, especially in Babylon the Great. So, you know, hey man, we just gotta constantly pray, you know, for forgiveness, man, and you know, pray that we are the hopeful elect, because we don't know, you know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua can easily just take us up out of here, off the planet at any point in time. So, you know, we want to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushua for repentance, man. You know, we want to repent and just, you know, hey, Salaki for that. But, you know, we just gotta pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua that these things, man, we don't fall victim to these things, man. We don't fall victim to these judgments by way of the sword, the dogs, the fowls, and the beasts, man. So, moving on, we'll go to the book of Amos. Chapter 9. And once again, you know, it's entitled God's Judgment Unavoidable. So, you know, if it's slated for you, you know, for Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to judge you, man, at any time, it can happen, you know. That's why you want to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Because, let's see, verse 9, Salakia, this book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 10. All, not some, not a few, not most, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is pretty much letting you know nobody's gonna escape judgment, you know. And we see how the world is waxing more, you know, more wicked every day. Every day you wake up is more wickedness. Wickedness is just multiplying in the earth. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is, you know, it's got to be a balance. You know, you got that evil, that wickedness, so you got to have judgment, you know. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not going to continue to let that judgment, let that wickedness just build and build and build. You know, people got to start paying for their actions, whether it be in this life or your past life. That's why we got to constantly ask for forgiveness, you know. Because we're sinning and we don't even know we're sinning, you know. So we got to constantly ask for forgiveness, man. We got to really, you know, hey, man, a lot of people say they worship and they serve, well, they say Jesus, which we know that's a fake, you know, fake entity or whatever. But it's even people that say they serve and worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man. But truly, do they truly worship Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you know? Are you really willing to just totally submit to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, man? And just get out your own way, man. Just be on autopilot, man. Let Yahweh Hashem Yahushua guide your steps, man. But, you know, there's going to be a whole lot of judgment going out, man. So, and these things have happened in the past. You know, you got the story, you know, that we're about to go into now with Elisha and those kids, you know. So when Yahweh Hashem Yahushua want to put the spirit on some animals or whatever to you know, devour and destroy somebody, he will, you know. It's not a thing of imagination. These things actually happen. And when it does happen, it's by way of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, you know. And as we can see, you know, this is going into the story of Elisha. But we're going to jump down to verse 23. It says, and he went up from thence unto Bethel, and as he was going up by the way, there came forth little children out of the city and mocked him, and said unto him, Go up, thou bald head, go up, thou bald head. So they was, you know, mocking him, talking about his head. And it says, and he turned back and looked on them and cursed them in the name of the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. And there came forth 2 she-bears out of the wood and tear 40 and 2 children. And tear 40 and 2 children of them. And he, verse 25, and he went from thence to Mount Carmel, and from thence he returned to Samaria. But hey, he cursed them in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. And 2 she-bears just came and ripped 42 kids to shreds, man. You know, Yahweh Shem Yahushua put that spirit on the she-bear to eat the little children up, man. So these things have taken place. They're taking place now. And they're going to take place in the future. You know, that's going to be a part of judgment, man. You're going to have these animals out here, man. People going to have animals in their home. Probably won't even hardly be able to feed them during the famine. Hey, and the animals got to eat. Pit bulls, you know, you got people out here with all kind of pit bulls. And, hey, man, hey. However Yahweh Shem Yahushua see it, it's going to happen, man, if you slated for that judgment. But Yahweh Shem Yahushua has laid out his judgments. And he's given us, you know, it's not a secret to what's going to happen, man. And like I say, it's not just going to happen in Babylon. It also says, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse 1. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. So, you know, that's destruction, man, to these places, man. And it's soon to come. You know, it's happening now, but it's definitely soon to come. All right, this is 2nd Esdras, chapter 8. And we'll go to verse 55. So like you for that. It says, and therefore ask thou no more questions concerning the multitude of them that perish. So, you know, you got people wondering, you know, what's the 2/3? What's gonna happen to the 2/3? The 2/3 is, you know, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? How will they be destroyed? But the Lord laid it out to you. You know, every individual person, you know, speaking of the 2/3, man, Lord willing, I'm not one of those people, are slated for a particular judgment, man. It's already written for what's gonna happen to them. So, you know, it's not up for us to ask and question Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you know, what's gonna happen to somebody, you know, because you might look at a person and they living wicked, you know. Yahweh Shem Yahushua might put the spirit on them, you know, to repent, man. You know, we don't know, but, you know, it's not up to us to worry about what's going to happen. Thus says the Lord, man. But, you know, with that being said, we want to say shalom, and we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Rekakwadash. Shalom.